The Director General of Nigeria's National Council on Climate Change, Salisu Dahiru, has outlined Nigerians' ambitious plans to achieve net zero carbon emissions by 2060. Now, the official national presentation and socialization of the long-term low-emission development strategy in Abuja, the NCCC boss explained Nigerians' nationally determined contributions to reduce emissions under the Paris Agreement. Here's a report.
Recall that at the COP28 held in Dubai last year, Nigeria committed to a United States Framework Convention on Climate Change following the developing and launching of comprehensive long-term low-emission development strategy. On Tuesday in Abuja, the National Council on Climate Change engaged stakeholders to identify actionable programs that is aimed to accelerate the uptake of measures and technologies in and around a climate-resilient development pathway. Speaking at the official national presentation and socialization of the long-term low-emission development strategy, the Director General NCCC, Salisu Dahiru, said Nigeria aims to cut emissions 20% below business as usual by 2030 through activities in key sectors like oil and gas, agriculture, waste, transport, and buildings.
This is a comprehensive document that serves as a vehicle for transitioning Nigeria to its net zero pathway by 2060. It identifies actionable programs and policies that aim to accelerate the uptake of measures and technologies in and around a climate-resilient Nigeria. It will also provide a pathway towards our long-term quantifiable GHG emissions reductions across Nigeria's priority sectors. So in this document, we will be seeing every aspect of climate change mitigation and adaptation that various MDAs will be implemented on the basis of their respective mandates.
Dahiru also underscored the impact of removing fuel subsidies, leading to a significant reduction in petrol consumption and carbon emissions.
And we realized that with the removal of this fuel subsidy alone, our consumption of petrol within a period of 1 to 3 months came down to about just 60% of what it used to be. And when we calculated the amount of carbon emissions associated with that reduction, we realized that 15 million metric tons of carbon dioxide equivalent of fossil oil-based emissions have been saved. A figure that also is going to add up to our NDC target of 20%, which by the time we calculate what we are already seeing in the area of the attempt to decarbonize the oil and gas system, the abatement of methane, as well as prevention of gas flare, we realize that Nigeria definitely is going to be one of the countries that will attain its NDCs well ahead of the 2030 date.
The Acting Director, Environment and National Resources, ECOWAS, Bernard Kofi, commended Nigeria for submitting its long-term low-emissions development strategy, making it one of only 3 ECOWAS countries to do so.
Out of the 15 ECOWAS member states, only 3 countries, namely Benin, the Gambia, and Nigeria, have submitted the strategy to the Secretariat of the UNFCCC. I would like to commend the Federal Republic of Nigeria for submitting this important document to fulfill its obligation under the Paris Agreement. This achievement is in line with the declaration of the ECOWAS head of state and government adopted on climate change in December 2021, which also called on member states to develop their long-term low carbon emission development strategy.
Also speaking, the Principal Climate Change Officer, African Development Bank, Gerald Esambe, lauded Nigeria's efforts, underscoring the country's potential to lead climate action in Africa.
This strategy is going to be involved because not just about the energy but also human capital, how the human capital for tomorrow is going to be fit in terms of implementing this strategy. And in this level, we also see this strategy as an investment plan that Nigerian government can also use in terms of mobilizing more resources. And we are there to support the country in terms of how do we use this strategy or document to build up an investment plan. Just recently, we have also been supporting the government in terms of developing an adaptation compact to be resilient in the sector. We know that flooding and other climate risks are affecting the.
With affirmation from the Director General regarding Nigeria's goal of achieving carbon neutrality by 2060, the nation seeks to solidify its position as a front runner in climate action across Africa.